Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Nyasha and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Joining me, as ever, for our Spanish Grand Prix race preview is producer Mario. How's it going?
It's going good, Nyasha. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
First one is always an issue for some reason. There you go. You see, double applause.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My confidence is at an all-time high.
There you go. I would hope so. I know, you got 2 rounds of applause there, and that's what you deserve. And look, joining us today, actually, I just fucking clocked it as well. 2 years ago, was it before the Spanish Grand Prix?
No
or just after the Spanish
was
Grand
that
Prix?
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I've been talking shit on this podcast for 2 years. Hey, Lord. Welcome back to the building. It's Tommy, a.k.a. known as Tommy Music, Tommy Auto. I'm in the building. I'm here to talk shit and about to get lit. That's what we say right now. I'm an ultimate Lewis fan. I've named myself Sir Lewis Hamilton. So his first name is Sir.
Wait, first name?
First name is Sir. Middle name is Lewis.
That's the wrong one.
And then his second middle name is Hamilton. I don't want to hear no wild one. I want to hear.
No, sorry. I'm sorry. Get a gunshots. I'm sorry.
I named my child Sir Lewis Hamilton. And for all you trolls trolling, you'll still listen to the podcast, baby. We still out here. You're still adding to the play count. It's good for our sponsors. So keep trolling, keep listening, listen to the end, and get ready to hear from our sponsors halfway through here. And our sponsor, by the way, is called Tommy Music. Let's go! I'm in the building. Yeah, no, 2 years. That's crazy. I'm excited.
We gave him a really good discount. We told him if you're the guest, we'll give you the ads for cheap.
Yeah.
Real cheap.
Look, 2 years ago, it's actually quite topical because there's,
We're
we
celebrating it like I wasn't getting racially abused. I'm like, 2 years ago, that's amazing. The reason I ever came on this podcast is because I was getting racially abused on the Bird app because I must have tweeted something so.
You said,
simple,
I
straightforward.
think you said like black Twitter and then like the arrows or something. Or
I said black F1
Black
Twitter.
F1, yeah.
It's great. It's basically what I said. And then, boy, the whole of racismo Twitter just came for me, boy. They said they went full Klansman. That's what they went on me, boy. They went full Klan. I remember opening my phone and just being like, God damn. I had to put that down, boy.
I honestly, I was sat there like, Jesus, these guys are going in. I was like, well, you know what? It's quite. I'd been scoping you for a while. You were a taser back then. This is crazy. And I was
wow.
This guy knows cars. He knows Formula One. He's black. And I was like, I need an angle to ask him to come on the show. And then I was like, he's been racially abused. Would you want to come and talk about it?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is so. Is that 2 years ago? Are you sure this isn't 3 years ago?
No, it was 2023. It was 2021 that we started, so it would have been 2 years.
Okay.
So, yeah,
damn,
man. Crazy.
that is crazy. That's so crazy. I wasn't even married when we started doing this. I didn't have a child. Oh my God, that is
TikTok
nuts.
weren't popping.
TikTok wasn't. I was anti-TikTok, bro. I was anti-TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, this is completely unrelated. I finally got on my YouTube game. I got monetized, now I'm going all in on my YouTube. So guys, Tommy Auto plugging it right here. Thank you. Sponsored by Quick Stop F1. What do you know about that?
I see. You know what?
I'll send you the bill later. Don't worry. I'll send you the bill.
Yeah.
You have that one, Nyasha, right? You got that. You pick that. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
No, that's fine. I've got that like Tandy's I fucking plan. I've got I've got Chris's dental plan, and now I've got this bill from Tommy as well. I love it. Thank you so much. Could you want to give us a quick? What are you doing on your YouTube channel? Like, plug it.
And when can I help record one?
Okay, so basically, I'm doing what I do on my TikTok, but basically long form. So talking about cars,
of course.
Not only just my cars, but other cars. I've been invited to see a few like cars that are coming out and whatnot. So I'm documenting that, and then also like sharing like I'm trying to do car content, but differently because when like a new car comes out, you get 100 people invited to the press launch. Everyone's doing the same review, driving the same roads. I'm just kind of to keep it 100% Tommy, so I'm just keeping it very like relatable to my life and just like what do I think of these cars on a real bias personal level. So I'm basically the quick stop F1 of cars, but with less swearing, I would say.
Oh, you're the one who swears the most.
Me?
Tommy, your last video was on the Aston Martin DB12.
Yes.
What was your favorite part about that video? Recording?
My favorite part about, I think the Aston Martin DB12 is an interesting car because it shows an evolution in Aston Martin's thinking, where it's no longer just catering for the old fogies. Because like I was saying, I said it straight up to the Aston Martin heads there. I said, look, you guys are making these cars. You're basing your whole brand identity of James Bond. You're appealing to 50-year-olds and you're still asking questions as to why young people aren't buying your cars. I just said it straight up. I said, all your customers are dying, bro. Like, they're getting way too old. They're not buying the cars anymore. I said, you need to switch it up. We need more colorful cars. We need more better infotainment. So the new car has a better infotainment system. It finally allows Apple CarPlay. It allows you to do all the other things that people have been doing for ages. So it's a step in the right direction. I think they still got a lot to do to appeal to a younger audience. Their position in Formula One's really helping them because they're bringing new fans towards the brand. I just think they just need to kind of make their brand a bit more like youth and I don't know, ethnic minority friendly. It's a very old white man brand at the moment, and like I said, the old white men are like the old people that are buying their cars, their fans, they're dying out. And there's many other companies people can go to. So, yeah.
I actually thought when they had Stormzy and Dave do the video there, I thought that would signal like a kind of change of like them going towards that. But it's not been as much.
Yeah, I thought it was like, okay, cool. It's about to get real youthful. They've got Dave as a brand ambassador, whatnot. But then they just didn't have the cars to back it up. So I could get flipping the coolest person in the world to be my brand ambassador if I haven't got the product to sell. Doesn't make sense. So they've tried with like the DBX, but then they've still marketed it a bit like an old man's car. Then they've done the DBX 707, which is a bit cooler, but at the same time, again, still old man vibes. We need something fresh, something young. Listen, Aston Martin, hit me up. There's no conflict of interest at all. Let's do this. Let's work. I've got some ideas.
No. I look, I just want to say I'm really proud of you, bro. Like, I know every time we see each other, you've always been like, yeah, I'm looking to do this, looking to do that. And I remember saying to you, like, yeah, just bro, you are the car don. Like, if you build that platform, and you have, I've watched your TikToks. Every time I go to upload on TikTok, whenever you upload, it goes to like your friend, and it's just like you just flexing a ridiculous amount of cars. And and I'm like, you know what? Fair. And then I get back on my computer and I work some more because I would like one of those cars, let alone the collection you've got. No, so congratulations and yeah, more power to you on that, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And look, if you enjoy Tommy's stuff, go and check out our channel. We'll leave a link in the below. And obviously, if you like this channel, make sure to give us a like and subscription on this channel. Let us know what kind of stuff you want to see from us, what kind of stuff you want to see from Tommy in the comments, as well as if you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star Spotify review. If you're on Apple, give us a review. And obviously, if you want an ad-free stream, you can do that on the Patreon for the price of a cup of coffee. You can have an ad-free stream as well as on higher tiers, exclusive content and exclusive merch. Guys,
what a professional. Holy crap.
It took some time, but we finally got that
out.
What
a perfect, my goodness.
Finally got that out. It's only taken 3 months.
Nailed it.
So look, before we get into the Spanish Grand Prix, I guess let's just touch on a couple of things first. Well, I guess, yeah, might as well just get into the Spanish Grand Prix because, actually, let's start with you, Mario, because we're going to talk about the Spanish Grand Prix. And I guess, do you want to give us your rundown of some interesting facts and figures around the Spanish Grand Prix this year?
Yeah, and I'll ask you guys some questions as we go just to make it a little bit more interactive, but it'll be quick. Just first time we were in Barcelona, Catalunya was in 1991. It's this Grand Prix has been held in 5 different places. It's going to be on the calendar until 2026. There's 66 laps at 4.66 kilometer length. One thing that I did for the Monaco GP was that I looked for all of the winners and then checked where they qualified. And I thought it would be interesting to bring that back to this one. But I chose 1991 because we've been here since 1991. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but since 1991, that's 31 total races. Out of the 31 races, 70% comes from first place. The furthest
Wait,
back,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Did you say 70% of the winners of the Spanish Grand Prix have come from first place?
Since 1991.
That is crazy. Do you know what?
First winner. Yeah,
sorry,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Before you carry on, Mario.
No, go ahead.
That is crazy. And I guess, mate, I'd love to see what that's like across all tracks. But the Spanish
I'm thinking I might start tracking it.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite a good idea. Because for me, the Spanish Grand Prix is never. When I think about it, though, now, the Spanish Grand Prix is never in my lifetime. I can remember.
It's boring, man. Just say it, bro. It's all right. You can say it's boring. I hate that race. Oh my goodness. Even on the F1 game, as soon as it gets that lap, I'm like, oh, I just crashed. I ain't even trying to do that. I don't know. That track is boring. Do you know what that track is good for? The track's good for testing because it's got a lot of different styles of corner. Yeah. It's got high speed. It's got low speed. It's got technical things. But it makes for some boring racing, really boring racing. Jesus.
And also, to that point, Mario, it's probably a good point, I guess, for some context and for people that might not know. Before we started going testing in Bahrain, they used to test exclusively in Spain. So the reason why in Spain as well, and it's also where a lot of teams bring upgrades to, which we'll talk about later on in the show. But because of that, there's so much data on this track. So where there would be, I guess, instances where there could be setup variations which could hamper or hinder people, you don't get that in Spain because everyone knows the circuit so well. There's so much data on it. And that is probably why, there hasn't been as much. However, what I would say, we did have a good race in 2021. Wow, I say a good race.
Wasn't that the chaos of loads of cars crashing out?
No, not that particular one. That one was when I believe Lewis beat Max with a two-stop strategy, an attacking two-stop strategy, and similar to what they did in Hungary 2019.
That Hungary 2019 was perfection.
That was great.
I remember watching it.
Mario, can you just double check on that? Because I don't know if Red Bull did it to Mercedes because they knew it was coming, or Mercedes did it to Red Bull. Can you just check?
I remember Red Bull did it back to them. I think that was in Hungary.
Was that in a different race?
I can't remember.
Sorry. Yeah.
The tracks look the same.
Hamilton saw triumph for his sixth Grand Prix. Damn it, that was a question later. The reigning world champion, this is what you were saying. The reigning world champion brilliantly executing a two-stop strategy to claim his third win in four races. Hear that? His third win in 4 races as Verstappen finished second ahead of Bottas.
So
literally what you said.
In the 2021 season, which is the greatest of all time, but we'll come back to that.
Interesting.
But yeah, sorry. So I just wanted to just give some context to that in case people didn't know Mario. But next.
No, that's
fact.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. So, and to further crap on the situation, furthest qualifier to win is 5th once. Every other time it's in the top. You got to qualify in the top 3 to win.
Yeah.
The only 2 people that have won out of the top 3 is Max and Fernando. So they won. Max won from 4th. Fernando won from 5th. Do you remember? And it's fine. Do you remember which year Fernando won?
Was this the Spanish Grand Prix at Catalonia?
Yes, we've been in Catalonia since 1991, so it would have been here.
Fernando Alonso, I'm gonna go with like 2005, 6. Was it one of those?
So he's won twice. Once was 26 in 2006. So just like you said, the reason I'm asking Alonso is because he won in 2013, and this is the last Grand Prix that Fernando Alonso has ever won.
Ah, good. So that's number
Yeah, so
32.
That's
hold on.
good.
Oh
my goodness.
I swear there's a laughter track on it. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna have Racismo Twitter all over you again, bro. Goodness gracious.
I don't care.
me.
Find me. I don't care. Actually, please don't. Oh God, they're so horrible. Then
Do you know what it is? It's not even the what they say. It's the fact that I can't just punch them in the face. That's the part that gets to me. Like I can't react. So I just have to bite my tongue, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let it get to me, because there's the fact that you can't do anything about it is really frustrating.
Yeah, I would love to punch a couple of them man in the face. Oh my God! But
I think with what you guys, I think this is really relevant to both of you. Who has a platform? It's you guys. Who doesn't have a platform is all these people that come at you with egg profile pictures and accounts that are 2 weeks old. Like, it's because you guys have a platform and you're up here that you get this crap.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, like it is. It is, yeah, definitely not something that I would say affects me that much, but I just hate them guys. And then, okay, what were the questions you were going to ask me and Tommy?
Yeah. So wrapping up, there is, and this is an easy one. Most wins ever in Spa. There are 2 drivers tied. One is on the grid. One is not.
In Spain or Spa?
And in Spain. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Most wins.
Yes.
Lewis.
Easy breezy.
And
Michael.
Yeah.
Now, what's pretty cool is Michael won back-to-back and then won 4 in a row. Lewis won once and then won 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
So through 2017 and 2021, Lewis won this race. Guess where he qualified? First and second only twice. He's qualified twice. I'm sorry, he qualified second once and then all the other times were first. The last thing I'll say is, and you guys say what you will, I am not coming at this from a defending Red Bull or anything like that. I am not coming from there. All I'm going to say is, in all the research I did, there were a ton of commentary saying once the 2 Mercedes in 20, remind me of the year? In 20, yeah, when Max won in 2016, the 2 Mercedes were out of the race, and the comment in general was, this race was so much fun because the 2 Mercedes were out, so it was exciting, which I think lines up with what we read nowadays with people commenting on Red Bull. Thoughts?
Tommy. One, could you just sit up a little bit, sorry, just for the camera?
I bored him. I'm sorry. I went too long. I bored him.
I now cannot hear you. I can't hear you. I'm going to carry on talking. Nope. I can't hear you.
I bored him so much his microphone stopped working.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay, let's
go. Tommy.
Yes.
In your experience, having watched F1 as long as you have, do you think that the domination from Mercedes between, let's just say, between 2014 and 2016, right? Do you think, because obviously 2017-18 there was Ferrari challenge, obviously 2019 and 2020 it was pretty dominant, I'd say, and obviously 2021 was the golden year. Do you think the domination that we saw in the Mercedes in like the first 3 years of the hybrid era was as boring or less entertaining than what we're seeing now? Second question, do you think your bias would preclude you from giving an honest answer?
I think the domination of the Mercedes was a bit different, because I still remember them being challenged for wins occasionally by Ferrari or Red Bull. They weren't the only team winning, but I'm pretty sure Red Bull won. How many races did Red Bull win? If not all of them, but like 4 last year. Last year? Yeah, last year it was like all but 4, wasn't it? This year they're probably going to win all of them, right? Like if we keep it 100%.
Wait, who?
17 of the 22.
Yeah, 17.
17 and 22. So this year is looking like they'll probably win every single race. No one can catch them. The DRS is too powerful. It's even to the point where it's like Sergio Perez can't even win a race. So there's not like an inter-team battle like we had at Mercedes. It's kind of just like straight up. Oh, Max Verstappen's car is just winning every single race. The back of the grid is also not having as many challenges. Those years where Mercedes dominated, we still saw the back of the grid ebb and flowing in terms of where's everyone going to win, finish in the constructors. But this year, it just seems like no one can overtake at all. It's just the racing this year is boring. I think the only thing that switches it up is safety cars and rain. And yeah. This year's just not a good year for Formula One. I don't think it's a good look, especially when they got everyone roped in with 2021. Everything was going well after 2020 having Drive to Survive, and then 2021 they dropped the ball with the way they handled Abu Dhabi, and then the regulation changes didn't make the sport more interesting. It kind of made the sport way more boring. When the last year of the regulations was probably the most mixed up year we've had in a long time. So no, I don't think the domination of Red Bull now is the same. I think as a Mercedes fan, I'm probably biased because even when Lewis was winning, I was still like, oh my God, this is amazing. While other people were saying it's boring. But at the same time, there were more battles up and down the field, and the cars just seemed to like be more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I think for me, it's that thing where one, you had the inter-team battle, right? 2014, for example, Bahrain 2014, Battle of the Silver Arrows. Like they were going hammer and tongs, different tire settings. Like Lewis on the older tires, Nico on the newer tires, couldn't get it done. That is a classic race. We've not had like a classic Max versus Checo battle yet for various reasons, right? There's, been on different places in the track and whatever, right? But there's not that kind of excitement. Also, you had the narrative of like friends turning to foes with Nico and Lewis. Like people forget that is a big part. Narrative is a big part of what sells a Formula One race. And if you have the storyline of these kids that grew up in karting together, were by all intents and purposes friends, and now are fighting each other, and you're seeing that relationship go down the fucking toilet in real time. Also entertaining. The relationship between Max and Checo is frayed, as we saw in Brazil last year, and as we might have seen in Monaco after Monaco last year, and so forth. But it's never going to be Nico and Lewis, in that whole Mercedes era. So, and then also you had Ferrari were able to come in and get a couple wins here and there. Red Bull got a couple wins here and there at circuits that suited them. One of the most amazing things we've ever seen is Max Verstappen in Brazil 2016, like challenging for the win and doing well. Verstappen winning in Spain 2016. The fact that those two Mercedes crashed in 2016. So yeah, I guess that is, that's my thoughts on it. Like it's the predictability of, unfortunately, the people who say, well, the midfield are closer and that's great. No one gives a fuck about them, man. I'm sorry.
Let's keep it real.
Let's keep it real. No one cares about the midfield battle. I don't, I'm sorry. You fucking, I'm a Formula One unbiased guy. I go home and for breakfast I don't have cereal. I just watched the 1982 Formula One season. And get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm bored of it. I've seen people on F1 today sharing clips of Nigel Mansell overtaking Ayrton Senna like, this is F1. And all these old men in F1 saying, this is F1, this is F1. You're scaring the hose. No one cares.
Bruv, come on, man.
Don't show me that shit. I can't stand it. So for me, I want to look to the forward or look to the future. What we have in our plans now, the fact that F1 is saying this is F1 about a product that is over 3 decades old or whatever is to me fucking crazy. So I guess we'll see, but not. Yeah, I just think until we get either an inter-team battle or a battle a battle between the top teams, kind of like how we had in Monaco, because everyone was so close and that was fun, right? But you can't overtake in Monaco.
Yeah.
So until we get overtaking and a close battle, this season is going to be, by recent standards, bad. Mario, did you want to talk about 2016? I think I just mentioned it. You had a question around 2016. Niki Lauda.
I don't think. Oh, okay. So what I was reading from thank you, Nyasha. What I was reading from 2016 in summary, because I rambled already, is that during that crash where Lewis and Nico retired, there was Niki Lauda and Toto Wolff in Mercedes. Niki Lauda proceeded to clearly say that it was Lewis Hamilton's fault. And remember, Lewis was already a champion, so it's not like he's putting, he's simply being honest with Lewis and telling him that last time it was his fault. Whereas Toto, you would get bored even reading his statement. Like, it is the most saying nothing with saying something. I have to say
agnostic.
something. It was like, oh, it's a difficult situation, etc. And what we were talking before we were recording is I wanted to know a little bit about how do you feel now that Niki Lauda isn't there to tell Lewis and George, Lewis is the number one, George, you're the number two, or whatever version of that. Does Toto have is Toto going to do that? Sorry for making wrong. Is Toto going to do that like Niki did that?
Tommy, do you want to take that whilst I find, because I do have a thought on that, but I don't think it's, I think I do have some thoughts on that.
Okay. I think the team dynamic is not very clear about what's going on in Mercedes. I think definitely. I think George is a great driver. He's exceptional, in fact, but I still think that his role needs to be kind of solidified as like the guy that's learning how to take over the team, as opposed to the guy that's on equal in terms of priority in the team, I guess. I think Lewis has done a lot for Mercedes as a brand. I think he's done a lot for Mercedes as a Formula One team, winning all the championships. I think he is the safer bet for Mercedes when it comes to, if you had a championship winning the car, who's probably going to score the points and who's going to win the championship. But I think it needs to be made a bit more clear, because I'm hearing a few things like on radio and stuff. I know a lot of it is out of context, but I'm hearing a few things that are like very like, okay, like you guys, George is saying some funny stuff. Like he said something in Australia about, guys, why are we racing each other? I got my teammate attacking me, how I can't preserve tires. Things like that just reaffirm to me that there's no clear picture of what's going on in the team and what's what and who's who. But at the same time, we don't know what's going on. We're just getting fed stuff from Formula One. So it's hard to say. But I do think Toto has the ability to be like, this person is the number one or this person number one. But I just think right now, it hasn't been done, but it's probably just because they're not fighting for anything, are they? They're just racing every weekend.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I think I'm just going to read a quote here from George Russell. I don't actually know where this article came from. Oh, it's from silverarrows.net. But it says, George Russell, we have a very open relationship with Lewis. I think it has to do with the fact that we are at different stages in our careers. There's a lot of mutual respect between us. Lewis has nothing left to prove, not to anyone, and I also feel that I have nothing to prove either. I'm in this position because I've worked very hard and I've earned it. When you have a teammate of the same generation at a similar level, that's when it can get messy in a team. Relationships are better when there is a clear number one, or when both drivers are at different stages of their careers, like Lewis and I. We don't fight for position, we just fight for the best position.
Bro, that is the most political speak I ever heard.
Oh my god.
We don't fight, but we fight.
Like, I couldn't know when you're like, did I read that correctly? We don't fight for position.
It sounded like that quote has either been misquoted poorly, or he started talking and he was like, whoa, what am I saying? Because for him to say, he has nothing left to prove. I have nothing left to prove either. It's like, to me, immediately.
It's crazy to say either of them have nothing left to prove, because Lewis is the first one who'll tell you that he wants the eighth. not because he needs to prove himself, but because he has that hunger.
Yeah.
And George is way too early in his career to say he has nothing to prove.
Yeah, we're way too early. He needs to be. He hasn't demonstrated he can lead a championship-winning team because he hasn't been in a championship-winning team since he's been there. So,
yeah, this is true. No, for sure. Look, 2016. Niki Lauda blamed Lewis before they had all the information. Nico Rosberg lied about what happened in that he put his car in the wrong mode, so that when they were on that straight, he started harvesting energy, so his car was not going as fast. Lewis caught up to him quickly. Obviously, Nico went to fucking cover it off, put Lewis onto the grass, and then that's why they had the accident. Lewis was going at such a rate of speed quicker than Rosberg that he had to, he couldn't back off. He had to go somewhere, and obviously he was a bit aggressive. But if they had all that information, I don't think Nicky would have gone at Lewis the way he did. And to be fair, what I would say is Toto Wolff did absolutely get at Nico for puncturing Lewis's tyre at Spa when they came together then, and that I think that was kind of like the beginning of, not the beginning of the end of Rosberg, but at that point Toto was saying one of them had to go basically at the end of that season. Like going into 2017, like one of them would have had to go after, like pretty soon, because they could just not carry on the way they were. And Nico obviously took, I think he left, to be honest, so that was good. But what I would say is, I think Toto does have the ability to do that. You have to remember as well, before they had Paddy Lowe, Nicky, and Toto. So there was three people. And if you watch that 2014 Bahrain race, it's Paddy Lowe coming over the radio, telling them to be careful whilst they're racing. So I think Toto is going into it, and I do think he does where necessary. I don't think he'll ever do it. I mean, he said recently, he said to George that, we're not going to explore the option of you going in front of Lewis. So I just think, that
was cold blooded. George was like, when I hear it, I was like, what load of bullshit. Yeah, I get what George was getting at, but he had like a 7-second gap on Leclerc this time. I was like, why is this even a thing?
It's not going to happen. What I would say is, George is very political. I think I called Alonso Machiavellian. I think George is in the same vein, but in a different way. George is very political. George is very trying to get everyone in the team on side, trying to get the press on side, especially Sky Sports and all of that. And I think that is going to be George's game. I don't think George is going to be very much, I think what we see, very much nicey, but there is a steal underneath there, in that, whilst they're not fighting to be number one, in his eyes, if he sees an opportunity, he's going to go for it. I can't wait for the day that he thinks he can overtake Lewis on pace, and and they go for it. And I reckon at some point they are going to crash. Not crash.
Oh, you think so?
I reckon George is going to give. I reckon at some point, especially if we have a car that's capable for a win, and Mercedes are like, Toto's problem is he's very the economy will regulate itself. So he's just going to fucking let these two...
That's a great way to say it. That's a great way to say it.
He's very much, I'm going to let these two fucking deal with it. They're big enough to deal with it, blah, 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 like he did with Nico and Lewis, and it's just going to get out of hand. Well, I think he'll stop it before it gets out of hand, but I do think there'll be a point where George is a bit overzealous, and maybe in defence, maybe in attack, but I mark my words, George is going to make contact with Lewis one day, and I will be there on the timeline the day that happens. Let me tell you that. Well, look, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I just want to clarify, because I am terrified of the LH say something wrong and I'm going to come get you. I come up with these things as a discussion for the podcast. I am in no way accusing Mercedes or Toto Wolff of absolutely anything.
Say it with your chest, bro. Say it with your chest. Now it looks like you did say it. I'm just saying you're gonna say it with your chest, bro.
I don't want to be collateral damage. I just bring things for discussion.
No, you're never gonna be collateral damage. To be fair, don't worry about it. So look, give me your predictions for this race. We've got Aston Martin with their Upgrades, they're saying their upgrades are going to fucking give them at least 0.2. They think they're going to be easily ahead of Mercedes and Red Bull and Ferrari, and potentially, obviously, a lot closer to Red Bull than they have been. We've got who else? We've got Mercedes bringing some stuff, some extra stuff. We've got Alpine bringing some stuff as well, and they think that they should be fighting with Mercedes and Ferrari. So, what are your predictions for this weekend? Give me like a strong prediction that does not involve Red Bull walking away with it. One of you. Someone.
So you want me to lie?
That doesn't involve Red Bull walking away with it. That's wild,
okay.
bro.
Let's give the people some hope. Go on.
I don't think there'll be a safety car this weekend. I don't think there'll be one. I don't think so. I think the last chicane is going to improve the racing heavily, but it's also going to mean Red Bull have a massive flat out period. So they're overtaking everyone.
Yeah.
Start Max at the rear of the grid for all I care. He's winning that race. I think we're going to have a couple of retirements. I think we probably get a coming together of Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. I don't know why. I'm just throwing that out there. Just hopefully something interesting happens. And I feel like Fernando Alonso will be chasing victory so hard he'll mess up and DNF. Ooh. I don't know.
Ooh.
Man, do you know what I'm going to predict?
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to predict...
If you say Mercedes upgrades don't do nothing, I swear to God.
No, I'm going to predict a Lewis Hamilton podium. Piss me off. I reckon, look, last year Mercedes had a car that was capable to do really well. Lewis Hamilton came from the back of the grid with no safety car all the way into fourth. We saw George have his battles with Max Verstappen. I would say, obviously, the car hopefully is relatively better this season. You would hope. I would hope the upgrades take us closer to Aston Martin. Look, could we have a Lewis versus Alonso battle for the final place on the podium in Spain with Lewis beating Alonso? Do you know how gassy that is? Do you know how much I want that? I need that.
The sport needs that.
The sport needs that.
The sport needs a narrative. The sport needs a narrative. That's what we need. We need a narrative.
Yeah.
We need something to, not Red Bull walking away. We need something like, that's why they're leeching so long into, Lewis is going to Ferrari, because they're like, damn, we ain't got nothing to talk about. We need to spew something or spew this. Yeah. So we need a narrative. And if it was something cold like Lewis Hamilton, if Lewis Hamilton could win this weekend, that'd be insane. That would be brazy. That'd be invigorating. Man, that'd be provocative.
You know what? Gets the people going.
Yep.
He would set the record for most wins ever.
He would have the most wins ever for sure. And he's got a couple of records like that. And I think, Spain is definitely, like you said, he's tied with Shimi for that. And I think for me, I think that would be awesome. Man, I'm starving for a Lewis win. Oh my God.
Trust me, we're thirsty, but we're dying out here.
Bro,
how much do you think Alonso is dying for a win?
Give a fuck about my guy.
How many times has he retired, bro? That boy retired, a couple of times now, like.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, he's looking for number 33, isn't he? That's the whole thing. And look, if he got it in Spain
33,
again,
rookie numbers.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Verstappen's
rookie numbers. He's been in the sport, since 2004? Rookie numbers, bro.
Yeah, come on, bro. How many wins has Verstappen got? Verstappen got more than that now.
39.
Bro, that's crazy. So, like, Verstappen's numbers are like, anyway.
Yeah, 39.
They're crazy. So, Mario, any big predictions?
No, I'm pretty standard predictions on my side, but I was gonna say Lewis on third.
Nice.
I would love to see him win, but I think Monaco is Monaco's a terrible track to evaluate upgrades, but it didn't look terrible. So I feel encouraged about not necessarily the upgrades of this week, but performance in general after what we saw last week.
Okay, but everyone else is bringing upgrades, so that's why I'm like,
The quality
it could just
the
counter
quality
everything.
of a Haas upgrade. the quality of a Haas upgrade versus a Mercedes upgrade. Like that's like upgrading a tail light versus upgrading the engine.
But if
you
we
know?
look back to 2021, Haas were way faster than Mercedes in the opening of the season. So we can't talk about Haas because they may not got the money,
To be fair,
but they ain't got no pods.
Oh my god, we were literally racing Kevin Magnussen last year, bro. Oh,
but remember when
my
Bottas
God.
finished ahead and Bottas was like gloating? Bottas was like, yes, it's amazing.
Well, I'd love to get your guys' opinion on Leclerc after the race he had last week, and he retired from this race because of a gearbox last year.
Yeah.
Or both of them, Sainz and Leclerc. What do you guys, real quick, think will happen this weekend, or how do you feel about them in general?
I am so indifferent to Ferrari. It's crazy. Like, all I watch Ferrari for is to see what they do wrong next.
Jesus,
that is it. I've all of the stock that I had in Charles Leclerc. Imagine I bought Leclerc coin in like 2018. I have sold like half of it, like just to make sure that I'm breaking even on it, because I think he's a bit fugazi. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. But honestly, Ferrari and Sainz and Leclerc and Vasseur, and I think Vasseur needs like a year or two there. To be honest, he's probably gonna have to stay there until the next set of engine regulations and for something to happen there. So,
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you have that kind of turnover with your team principal.
they can't get rid of him before 2026. So
That's what they said about Ricardo.
We can't get rid of
In
anytime.
McLaren, like they can't get rid of Ricardo in McLaren.
Well, yeah, he had a contract, but yeah, he was fucking awful. Tommy, any thoughts on Ferrari before we wrap up?
I feel sorry for everyone in the team. I think they just need to. They're not as cohesive as they want to be. There's a lot of pressure for them to succeed. They haven't got the slowest car by any means. I think they've just fall victim to like a set of circumstances. I think they need to kind of realign. You know, when sometimes you just like you trip over and you start to get up and then but you trip over again. Sometimes you need to trip over and just take a second on the floor, really figure out what you're doing there, and then stand up. I think they just need to do that. I think they have the ability to be a great team. Again, I just think that they need to just take a second and just figure out what it is that's caused them to trip over. So yeah.
Kind of like how Mercedes did, I guess. I guess we'll see whether that works or not. But they've scrapped, they scrapped the no side pod and that flaw that they had, and we'll see if it works. But at least there was a kind of like, this is what's going wrong. This is where we need to change it. But look, Tommy, I feel like I don't want to keep you away from Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
any longer. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you. Where can people find you, Tommy?
My Instagram and my TikTok is Tommy Music, and my YouTube Tommy Auto. I'm trying to realign all to Tommy Auto. I think that's the move now. So look out for that.
So
That's a really good one.
I was gonna say, do you reckon that's overtaking music now? Do you reckon this is?
Yeah,
I feel like this
find
is
more,
you.
Yeah, I find more fun, and I'm more passionate about cars and stuff, and there's money to be made, and money will be made. So, where there's money to be made, I will be paid. Does that rhyme?
Look, where there's cash flow, that's where Tommy will go for sure.
Exactly.
And look, congratulations on all of that. And we'll stick all the links in there. Mario, where can people find you?
Twitter and Instagram at Mario_APM.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to give cheering to both of you guys. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And look, thank you to you
What
guys.
about for you?
Everyone knows where to find me, bro. Quickstop F1.
No, the applause.
I don't need applause. I need. Do you know what I mean? I don't need that. I know I'm sick. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much. Make sure you're giving us a like, subscribe, smash them things there. And also, 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcast review, ad-free stream is on the Patreon, as well as exclusive content and merch. And also, we will be back with a post-qualifying show on Saturday. And we'll see you next week for the race review on Monday. Let us know. Yeah, for the podcast. So we'll see you there. Thank you for watching. And no matter what happens, remember, keep it on the black stuff.
The black stuff. Let's go.
Take care. Let's go, baby. Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quickstop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.